Good morning and welcome back to another episode of 20 odd minutes of Terrace Talk. In this episode, like always, we will go through Steve's classic kits, where we go through 3 classic bits of football memorabilia. We will give you our trainer release of the week. We'll talk about this week's fixtures, and as always, I'll finish on 40 years of fashion, where I give you tales of grails. So we'll get started straight away. How are you this week, Steve?
I'm fine.
It's a cool top you've got on there.
I kind of wish you'd give me the memo that you were going to wear a Napoli thing today. Yeah?
I was inspired by the constant Italian strips that we're talking about, and there's another Italian strip here tonight, so a Diodora special.
Yeah, it certainly is. Diodora special. Good company. I'm not actually sure. What did they start producing? They weren't underwear this week, or swimwear. It was established in 1948 in San Marco in Italy. And they started producing mountain hiking boots before transitioning into athletic footwear. So they gained prominence in the 70s and 80s.
I didn't know that. So was Diodora primarily a footwear company to start with?
Yeah, hiking boots was what it started with.
And then they go into like
athletics. Yeah, 70s, 80s into athletic gear, and then obviously gained.
Going off it, well, I know that they won the contract for Beyond Borg because at the time Fila didn't have a footwear department, so that's how they got the Borg Elite.
So that's when they came in. So that elite athletes Borg, and then obviously he's got his own signature trainer that I had a pair, and we've all had the stories, and you do nice things with the Diodoras. Now you can still put the autograph on them and stuff.
It makes it, to be fair.
Yeah.
It really just gives the trainers just something extra, especially with like the Seb Coes or what's another one that Diodora do?
Can't mean the famous runner. There was a runner. There was a famous runner.
Seb Coes a runner, but there's Ed Moses.
That's the one, yeah.
Ed Moses,
That's the one. And then obviously they become very iconic on the terraces, the trainers. And then obviously they get into the football.
It's one of the most iconic casual trainers there is.
Yeah.
It's also one of the first white trainers that was socially acceptable as white trainers, apparently, because everything was heavy black before that point.
The three, I can remember, there was the Moses running shoe, the Borg Elite Gold, Borg Elite Blue, navy blue stripe. And there was also one called the Venice, which was a suede trainer with a maroon stripe down the side, and that was the sort of ones I always remember. But I had a Venice and I had the Borg Elites, and I played football in the Borg Elites kangaroo leather and destroyed them.
Beautiful shit, yeah. To be fair, I think I heard somebody say that at the time you could get the Borg Elite without the signature, that was cheaper.
I don't think that the signature was on the blue one, was it? Or was it?
Depends if it was actually endorsed by Borg, if it was actually a Borg Elite.
I think it was.
Was it?
I think it was, yeah. And then obviously later date, remember there was a silver stripe came out as well.
There was the 1974? Oh god, yeah. Diodora trainer. It's been a while since I spoke about them. There was another one Borg endorsed, which did have the signature, but they re-released again 2011 or 2010, and there was only like 1974 pairs. Came across a good few of them, but that's just like an all white trainer with the red, and it's got a red sole as well.
And you were managing to put the Borg on the side, and it looked
amazing.
On
that pair, it's an absolute nightmare because the leather is so soft.
Right.
So I hate doing it on that pair specifically. But yeah, most gold Borgs. You get silver ones as well. Yeah. They go on. Not too bad. I don't recommend the Borg Elites that people wear nowadays. They're so uncomfy. Like, funny enough, you mentioned kangaroo leather.
Yeah.
The last good one, I think, was 2008. It was a 1 in 800. Manifesto got some of them.
I remember that one when it came.
Yeah, beautiful. Seriously beautiful.
I thought about buying them because it was an Italian-made one. I think came out, wasn't there?
I think they're Italian-made now. The Heritage, the Heritage, but you're paying 180 quid.
Yeah,
and they're like clogs. That's what they're like. They're like clogs.
So we'll have a look at the first strip, which is the green one across there, which is a Brazilian team. It's Palmeiras, and it's 2005-2006.
Pirelli makes another appearance.
Yeah, with a Pirelli on it. So everybody knows the Pirelli sponsor on the inner strip, but you don't really see it on many strips. But it looks great on that one.
It does.
And that template is the Scotland one. From Scotland had that. Remember, Scotland had gold. I think they had gold and white.
So was that like
navy.
The 2000s then?
Yeah, that's 2005, 2006.
All right, okay.
So Scotland obviously had the Diodora strip at that point, and obviously everybody remembers the Roma, but that is really unusual to see a team out with.
It's a really nice strip.
Yeah, it is.
I've never seen that strip before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is actually a really nice strip. The way the Diodora is situated as well, they've actually spell text that, and then the Pirelli, the way it's all situated.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody will remember that as the Scotland template because it had that and it was gold and
I think that strip looks better than the Scotland strip, definitely.
Yeah, it was a good strip, that one. But they were in this. The thing was that, again, most strips I'm bringing on, they're great strips, and it seems to be a downturn in teams, and they had been in the second division. This was the strip they wore the first year they got back into the Serie A, the Brazilian league. So, but great strip. And then next to it, you'll recognise that one.
Of course, Fiorentina.
Which is Fiorentina 2000 and 2001, and that's famous for Rui Costa and Nuno Gomes. And they won the Coppa Italia with that strip. But I like that one. That's a bit of the Toyota sponsor on that. It's a bit worn in the Diodora, but I don't think it makes it bad. It gives it a bit of class about it.
You still get, it is a worn condition strip, but you still get the idea of what's going on, don't you? The Diodora looks more gone than the Toyota, to be fair.
And the Diodora signs on the arms are gone as well, so this must be what they were made of at the time.
What do you like better, like a crew neck or a collar on a football strip?
I like them all. I like it all depend, go by strip to strip. But I quite like a collar. I quite like a crew neck, but I like a collar as well. Collar obviously gives it that retro feel about it, because obviously all the early strips were like collars on them, big collars, and that's cool on that one. Yeah. So another good Fiorentina, and we'll go across this. This is a really rare Red Star Belgrade Diodora, and Red Star's obviously known for the Kappa strips, and I've had these on before.
I don't know if the camera will pick up, but it's got like a vintage Diodora tag on the collar there. Obviously, it's still tagged.
Brand new, never been worn, that one.
Well, what era is this?
It's 1994-95, just before they go to Kappa.
94-95.
Yeah.
Yeah, see like the little details, like how big that Diodora label is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the art of that has been lost over the years.
Yeah.
Like it's good to that is mint con. Like
because you always got a wee. I think that'll be a sticker, whatnot. Usually
is it a sticker?
I think they're stickers. Yeah. But Red Star. This is still in the old Yugoslavian time. It's not split up yet. It's actually Yugoslavia.
Well, they were at war at that time, to be fair.
Yeah. So it's still there. It's around about that time. But they actually won the league and cup double in that strip before they move on to the Kappa. But I still like that one. I think that's probably rarer. And it's a nice. It took me a long time to pick one of them up.
I like how it's like you've got that. I don't know what that sponsor says, but it looks authentic to the area. You know what I mean?
I'll have to check. I used to know what that was. I can't remember if it's a bank or whatever it is. But no, it does look the.
I like the way how it's situated in the middle. Obviously fits quite well, and it's got a white barrier around that, so it's separate from the stripes going down. It is a cool strap.
Well, unlike those ones, it's the classic Diodora sign that's on it. It's unlike the capital letters, it's the proper Diodora sign on that one, and I think it looks the business there.
I had to pick one out of the three. I'd go with the Pirelli.
Yeah, it's a great looking strip.
Yeah,
really good looking strip.
I wear green. I'm not the biggest fan of green, but I really like that strip and how that's put together.
Yeah, it's good.
Pirelli just do well on strips, I think.
Yeah, well that
just looks cool.
But that Inter one's quality.
It's obviously made famous for Inter. Yeah, you're always, as soon as you see that, you're just going to think Inter. But to see it like done different is really cool. So our next segment is trainer release of the week. Usually this is done by my mate Kris Holmes, but Kris has got some stuff going on, so best of wishes to Kris and all that. But so I'll do that this week. And there's 3 releases I want to talk about that came out this week that I think are quite interesting. I'm going to show Steve on my phone. The first one is called the National Team Away Pack. Have I got that right? Sorry, National Team Away Pack, which features 4 shoes: Argentina, Germany. What I see? Sorry.
Yeah.
See how we look at them there. You could tell them our 2 teams because I couldn't get it working quick enough.
Mexico, Japan, Germany, Argentina.
Yeah, so that's the 4. We talked about There was another pack for the World Cup a couple of weeks ago, but I forgot that it was done already. It was Italy, Japan and stuff. Basically going with the World Cup gimmick. To be fair, they're not too bad.
The Mexico one's the best one.
They're not too bad. I like the Germany one, to be fair. The Mexico one looks alright as well. The Germany one in these photos looks like it's a blue on like sort of grey or light blue. It's hard to tell with that photo there.
Yeah, the blue on that would be like usually their training gear in the 70s was kind of that colour, blue and black.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
It looks nice for a release, I would say, definitely. If I was going to pick one out of that four, that would definitely be the one I go for. But you say you like
Mexico.
You like the Mexico. Fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
I just gave us something to speak about anyway.
That's
So yeah, the next one is going back off like the sort of jellyfish look. This is Adidas X Unheard of Adistar Control Piggy Runner 2.0. I actually think these funky runners are not too bad. If they get the colourway right on it, I think it would look okay.
Yeah, but you'd have to certainly be watching what you're going to be wearing.
They're
You have to think about what you're going to wear with them.
Right, the first one that Pharrell done, what's called the jellyfish, I actually thought was really nice. Like the colours they've done on it. Like I said, it's big and bright. If it's done properly and it's a nice colourway, it could be done quite nice.
Well, I think my favourite of that was probably be able to get away. It's probably the yellow one, to be fair.
This is the way the world's changing. Well, the trainer market's changing. It's heavy runners, the influence. So this is what they're counting back with in their fight, and I think they're actually okay. Would I wear it? Don't know. It looks like a young man's game to wear that sort of trainer. To be fair. And coming from me, that's someone else. But yeah, I do. I like it. It's bright. It's creative. It's imaginative. So yeah, I would say it's positive. It's moving in positive steps, and I like how that looks. So yeah, I'll mention that. And last but not least, we've got another BW release. But anybody doesn't know, the BW trainer is basically an Adidas trainer that was made for the German army back in the 60s or 70s, and it crops up every now and again. That is a collaboration. Who's the collaboration with, Steve?
It is hard copy BW Army.
The BW is just the model of the shoe.
Okay.
It's essentially,
Adidas times hard copy. That's what it is.
it's a plain shoe. What do you think about it?
It looks, the black one looks like the stuff that we wear at school, like without the stripes on it years ago. But the actual white one's not too bad. Yeah, but you can see it's got that sort of school army look
It's a
about
very
it.
bland sort of pair of trainers.
Yeah.
I used to always get them very cheap on the internet, but years ago for sole swaps, because it's got a Samba sole on it. So that sole came in handy for many a sole swaps. I used to pick them up for like £10 because no one liked them. But yeah,
Different.
it's 3 trainer releases to talk about this week. What one would you pick out of all 3?
The Mexico.
You go for the national team away pack, and you go for the Mexico.
Yeah.
I would have to say I would go for the best looking one for a jean trainer. I would say would be the Germany from that release. But yeah, I would probably go with the Adistar Control Piggy or whatever they call that. But yeah, that has been our trainer releases of the week. Hope you enjoyed that one. In the next segment, we'll go on to the fixtures of the week, and this is going to be a pretty quick segment because there's not many games on, is there?
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting games. Obviously, it's an international weekend, so football fixtures. So in Scotland, the Scottish Championship, it's a couple of top of the table ones. So it's Morton in 8th with 33 points and Arbroath in 3rd with 47 points. So I would be. You've got to kind of start looking. Arbroath, they keep drawing games, and I keep saying they're going to win. But this could be a draw as well. But I think Arbroath might go there and win. They're needing to keep another couple of wins, and they'll finish in that playoff place. Next game, St Johnstone it's there in first, obviously with 61 points, and there's Queen's Park in 6th with 35 points. So you can't see anything other than a St Johnstone win there, would you think? St Johnstone win against Queen's Park.
Like you said last week, it's boring, is it?
That's it, exactly, yeah. So, League One, into League One, so it's East Fife in 7th place with 30 points, and Stenhousemuir in 2nd place with 56 points. In the other games, Hamilton in 9th with 25 points, and Kelty in 19 points, so in 10th. So these are kind of, that league's actually quite interesting as well, just with the fact that it's close, and I'd like to see Hamilton going down or staying down, so for obvious reasons over in the past. So But the East 5 Stenhousemuir game, I'd like to see Stenhousemuir winning that to keep the pressure at the top there.
Keep it interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So, what I noticed the game. I noticed a couple of games actually. Scottish League 2. So it's second versus first, and Spartans are in second with 55 points, and East Kilbride are in first with 56 points. So that's Spartans and East Kilbride to get into the up into League 1.
A lot of people have been speaking about Spartans the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that East Kilbride, they seem to be sneaking up there, and there's money going into them as well. So I'm going to decide on that. Is it going to be a draw? Is it, or do I think if Spartans are going to win that? And I think that could be a draw.
I'll go with Spartans. They seem to be on a wee buzz just now. I've heard a lot about them the past couple of weeks. I think they got mentioned in that Ultra documentary as well, did they? There was a wee laddie on that one.
Yeah. So it's international weekend. So Scotland have got Japan. So I was thinking, what's Japan going to be like? But the last 3 games, Japan have beaten Bolivia 3-0, Ghana 2-0, and they've also beat Brazil 3-2. So there can't be any mugs. So I think it's going to be quite a tough test for Scotland, to be fair. So what we're going to have? We'll go for a draw.
I'll go for Scotland to lose.
Scotland to lose. Yeah, they could.
Scotland to lose. Yeah,
they could. Especially, I couldn't believe it when I saw they beat Brazil 3-2. Well, on Sunday there's a game that's actually interesting to Scotland and Scotland fans, and we're playing them in the World Cup, and it's Haiti. It's Haiti versus Tunisia. So over the past few World Cups that Scotland's been in, we've always had, but we've had always when we've thought we're all thinking, oh, Haiti, they'll beat Haiti easy. Like in '78, I thought we were going to beat Peru easy, and Ali McLeod said he didn't even look at them. They were South American champions. Oh, we're going to beat them easy. It didn't happen. And then it goes to 1990, and we play Costa Rica, and nobody seems to go and have a look at them either, and they beat Scotland. So here's Haiti. So maybe now that every game's on TV, maybe the Scotland team will go and watch how Haiti play, because everybody thinks we're going to beat Haiti. We probably will, but it's Scotland, so Sunday let's have a look at that. And yeah, I'm good for that.
Yeah, I'm interested to watch. Yeah, definitely. So is that this week's
fixtures? We'll go with it. We'll go with another draw for that one. I don't know anything about it, but we'll soon find out. So that's the fixtures, because there's no many international.
Yeah, I hate international breaks.
That's it.
I hate international breaks. Yeah,
Scotland friendlies, they never win them. As you say, I say the draw, probably Japan will win.
Now they've qualified, the pressure's off them, you know what I mean? I'll just be the Scotland thing to go out and lose.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, well, that'll take us on to our last segment, which is 40 years of fashion. Last week I picked a jacket for 40 years of fashion, and I'm going to do the same this week. And it's going to have to be one of the casually most iconic jackets, I would say, from the 80s. Comes in, we're going to see what AI says about it for a laugh. But yeah, Burberry comes in after mid-80s, I would say, after the Sergio and like the tracky sort of vibe. And it was maybe first, no luxuries, I wouldn't say maybe first luxuries, but it was taken up to the luxury brands.
I got mine, I got one, and my mum got one of them exact jacket. I got in St Andrews when the Open Golf was on. My father bought us them, and that was 1984. 84 I got it, yeah.
You would see it popping up. Everybody says you would see it popping up, maybe the golf shops. Like there was shops in the town that were selling it as well.
I can't remember seeing it in Dundee, but it was pop-up shops across at the Scottish Open in St Andrews, and it was in one of these big tents. Went in and had them, and that's where we bought them.
It was Burberry is so iconic when it comes to football and the culture itself. They're saying that it was £75 to £100 to buy a jacket at the time in the 80s, which is, most people like to describe about 2 weeks' wages. Let's see what AI says about it. We'll see if it gets it right.
It's funny you say about the price. I think it was about £75 a jacket. I'm sure it was.
The thing for Burberry for me is I was always mad iconic. I seen it at a different time. I seen it like 90s with Liam Gallagher wearing it in the Wonderwall video, and the Burberry check. That's how like I gravitated to it, and I remember it. It was like, and anybody who had a Burberry short, it was a serious symbol of status.
But this Burberry oversaturated with loads of stuff. What I remember.
Well, after that came out, you've got like the chavvy look where you couldn't give it away.
Yeah.
Like my mum got me a reversible Burberry for Christmas about 2003, and I was mortified. I wish I still had it now because it was so cool. But yeah, I was mortified because like aqua scooting was the end thing.
And it was Daniela Westbrook, the
Yeah.
full Burberry.
Little Britain as
pram,
well.
Yeah.
Look, I took an all-time low. You know what? The Ned culture as well. I just got heavily associated with that, and I took a
Because
batter.
I can only remember I can only remember that and the raincoat, and the big raincoat and that. That's what I remember.
Well, there's the mark, obviously.
Yeah.
Famously, the Burberry mark. That's what everybody says, the Burberry mark. But famously, it was actually made by Aqua Scooting first.
Yeah.
It was made famous by Burberry. But there is the mark. Obviously, this is a Harton style jacket. You got the reversible ones with the full check. I think it's the Harton style or the Baron. This gets called. The way that we've got it and on the mannequin with the collar up so you can see the check. But if you zipped the jacket down, obviously I've got the collars up as well. So there's the Burberry, the Nova check at the collars, and then you unzip it and it's the full Nova check. This one isn't reversible, so you can't wear this reversible. But yeah, there was reversible ones to go with the scarves, deer stalkers, that sort of look. And if you were really cool, you had the umbrella to match. That was the look as well. So yeah, sorry, let's see what AI says. The Burberry golf jacket, often referred to as the Bannon or simply Harton style, became a cornerstone of the 1980s British casual subculture. This subculture defined by football fans who travelled across Europe, returning with high-end designer sportswear to outdress rival firms and avoid police detection. I mean, it is correct, but not technically with the Burberry. You weren't going to Europe to get Burberry, no. This jacket is prized for if you know status. I would definitely agree with that, yeah. The iconic beige, black and red tartan is often used as the full line-in. Well, yeah, we know that. Admiration and status. Owning a Burberry jacket was a major status symbol in the early 80s. These jackets could cost between 75 and 100, which could be nearly 2 weeks' wages for young workers. I pretty much said that word for word, did I? Yeah, they're definitely getting that from the same sort of things that I've read about this jacket. You know what? It's an absolute... They usually sell for about $250. They're incredibly hard to get in good condition. They're incredibly hard to get the creases out because they're usually in stores they've been packed away for like so long. The female versions come into play quite a lot as well, like smaller sizes and colours, the way they're put together. But again, mad cool. Like really cool.
That was a great jacket.
I'm glad to sell this. I wanted this, but this is the problem with having like my shop. You want everything. You just can't keep everything. But yeah, that one fit me like a glove. It was... Do you remember? Like you said, you got one.
Yeah, I had one. My mother had one as well, and she gave hers to her auntie, who went to London years later, and I sold mine to somebody. I can't remember who I sold it to, and I wish I hadn't.
The hoarder that I know you.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's it. It's one of these ones. I just wish I hadn't.
It takes boys back to the time. I think it's like the thing I always go on about. I love the stages of the subculture that is known as like the casual culture and how everything changes. This famously comes like sort of the dress you look after, like the sportswear look. But this is just such a staple. Everybody remembers this jacket and the full look, however you went with it. But yeah, I think this is more to lads. This is more like famous than the Burberry mark. This is what was more socially acceptable, and this is why it's still so iconic.
I think the reason I got rid of it was because, as you said earlier on, it gets saturated and it's boring.
Once you've done a look, you don't tend to go back to it until
yeah.
Like years.
So you think you should never have sold it?
Yeah, it's the same. This is the problem with being a guy, man. We spend so much money on clothes, and then you wear it a couple of times, and you don't want to wear it anymore. So and this has been the problem for many years. So this sort of thing goes in the wardrobe, gets forgot about, bring it out 10 years later, and it's like a new item of clothing there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my 40 years of fashion and the small fixtures list that we had, this week's trainer releases and Steve's classic kits. Steve, thank you forever as doing this.
No problem.
And we will see you next week. Go enjoy your weekend. The famous things I always say is never look down at anybody unless you're checking out the trainers. If you this is Saturday morning actually. If you're watching this Saturday morning, we're doing a protest today at 1 o'clock at the City Square, and I really hope that you will be there and show a sign of strength with us against our fight against knife crime. Because I am sick to death of talking about these wee shite bags that are carrying all the time. Go enjoy your weekend. One love.